I'd like to call to order the Westmont Village Board meeting on May 2nd, 2024, to order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Zinsky for a roll call, please.
Mayor Gunther?
Here.
The clerk's here. Trustee Barker?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Yes, here.
Trustee Guzzo is absent tonight. Trustee Little?
Here.
Trustee Nero is absent tonight. Trustee Simonovich?
I'm here.
Manager May?
Here.
Assistant Village Manager Parker?
Here. Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. And at this point, it's open forum. This is an opportunity to address the board on anything that's not on the agenda. You can go back up. It's 2 open forums in one day. No, this is
Some meetings have 2 per meeting.
no, this is your second.
You guys only have one.
Yeah.
Dwayne Newton again, 10 West Travel. I just, on this gal, on your
The scale.
AUD.
I'm Trustee Simonovich.
ADU, in the long-term thinking, short-term rental. If you can, if these AUDs are like for, and then I felt a little discriminated against grandma suite. How about grandpa suite?
Yeah.
But, so if you make this AUD for a good, it's a good thing. But the problem is, I'm kind of working with a fella up in the UP, Michigan, and their board has been overwhelmed with short-term rental. So, when a person builds up an AUD and they intend it for a grandpa or grandma unit, that they can sell it and they can turn it into a short-term rental, and neighbors don't like new neighbors every weekend or every week. So that's just a point of information.
Thank you.
And then I lost my other thought. I appreciate you guys bringing in another meeting to complete this CDC meeting, because I feel I have some property that's unique in Westmont over there, right next to the fire department. And with this rezoning going on, there was some rezoning, and you'll be hearing about me in the near future because I'm filing for a rezoning application to rezone my property back to something that it once was. And I have a problem with that. You know what I mean?
Well, we look forward to May 30th.
Okay.
We'll see you again.
That's
All right,
it.
thanks.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to add, for purposes of the minutes and the recording and anybody watching, the ADUs are the additional dwelling units that we talked about at the Community Development Committee that met prior to this meeting.
Got it. Yes. Mr. Newton was attending that one.
Yes.
So he wanted to address the...
Just clarification.
All right, I will close open forum. We're going to move on to reports. My reports first, and I'd like to call Larry Forsberg, the Executive Director of the Chamber, and we had a Westmont Chamber Community Awards dinner. And I want to congratulate all the nominees and the award recipients, especially Dan Bukowski, who received our Citizen of the Year, and Natasha Burr from our business office, who received the Westmont Public Service Award. And I know Larry has something that was also presented there you want to talk about.
Yes, please. Thank you, Mayor and board members. We had a wonderful evening this past Monday at the Hilton, and it was just a golden opportunity to say thank you to a lot of folks from around our community who do a lot of wonderful things. And these are folks who don't go out looking for things. They were recognized by a lot of our community organizations. But the one I want to specifically talk about right now is our Community Improvement Award. For many years, the Westmont Chamber has presented community improvement awards on an annual basis, and this has been presented to businesses who have invested in Westmont, who've made improvements that make substantial differences to the community. And the recipients that night were Neat Kitchen and Bar with their addition, which is just wonderful, Companion Animal Rehab and Athletics at 100 South Cass. That's the animal, I call it the Athletical for Animals because they do a phenomenal job with rehab. And if those can remember what that building used to look like just 3 or 4 years ago and what it looks like today, both outside and inside, a phenomenal difference, a huge investment made here in Westmont. Another major transformation was Mrs. T's Pizza at 2 West Naperville. Again, a total renovation inside out, top to bottom, and just phenomenal. But the fourth one is a little bit unique, and that is for West Quincy Street. The committee was talking about the transformation that's occurring with West Quincy Street. And we all learned a lot of lessons from the pandemic, and one of those lessons is that people love to dine outside. And now as we look at West Quincy Street, as we completed phase 1, we have a whole beautiful area of where people can sit down and enjoy an evening outside, having a bite to eat, having a cocktail, just enjoying family and friends. In addition to that, we've gone from having several vacancies on that block to having basically all but one being filled right now. And we're working on that. So this summer, we wanted to make sure that everybody knew that this transformation was, the first phase of this transformation was complete, and to come out and enjoy that. So we do have a special plaque that we prepared for the village that I would like to present, and it simply says, Community Improvement Award, presented to the Village of Westmont for the West Quincy Street project, in recognition of the improvements made to the appearance of the property and the investment in support of the community, April 2024. On behalf of the Westmont business community, thank you, because that is going to be a huge boost to our business corridor along West Quincy. So thank you for the investment, thank you for your vision, and thank you for your leadership in making that happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to present this, please.
You guys, trustees, why don't you come up and take a picture? Trustees, come on up. You're the one. Here. Come on up and take a picture. Remember, you voted for it.
And thank you for voting for it.
You don't have to face the spotlight tonight.
Mayor, why don't you jump on in there?
And I had 3 of you there.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
One has never gone on.
Okay, I have a couple other quick items. You know, we've got a new waste and recycling vendor. As of yesterday, May 1st, Flood Brothers is the official new recycling and waste hauling company for Westmont. Information regarding the new waste hauler, details about programs, services, vendor rates, and more have been published on the village website. Coffee with the Mayor. I'm excited to have the next coffee on May 18th at the new Park District facility, Park Place, which is located on South Linden, next to Veterans Memorial Park. So it's down by the Babe Ruth League. It was a garage there before with a concession and washrooms. This is a beautiful facility that encompasses all that. So I'm looking forward to having people come and we'll have the Park District there to answer questions. And the Lions Spring Fling. It's coming up. It's Memorial Day weekend at Ty Warner Park. The Lions Club will be sponsoring this. This is an offshoot of the Red, White, and Blue Barbecue, which was held for years. And now we've got a Spring Fling. And you can find details on the village website or the Park District, not the Park District, but the Lions Club website. So that's all I have, and I turn to Clerk Simsky.
I just want to remind everybody that village office is closed Memorial Day, Monday, May 27th. So don't forget, okay, if you can come here.
And Again, I forgot one quick thing, Flood Brothers update. I know I talked about them being our new waste hauler. There's a news release was published today on the village website to provide specific information regarding how to exchange the size of your recycling and trash containers, as well as how to exchange used waste management refuse stickers and yard waste stickers. There is a limited amount of time to follow through on these items, so please check the website for details. And we'll move on to Trustee Brady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under the Community Development Committee, we had a recap this evening regarding zoning ordinance update. It's an 18-month study. We're now in the 12th month, and the presentation was made by a gentleman from Duncan Associates named Kirk Bishop. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll go over here to Trustee Barker, Environmental Improvement Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to point out that the Environmental Improvement Committee will meet on Monday night, May 6th here at 5:30 in Village Hall. And then we have a tree planting incentive program that allows for new tree planting, and that was launched through the village website. But that will give you some incentive to help you provide or plant a tree on private property. So if you're looking for a tree for your property, they're a little bit costly. The village would like to chip in for the benefit of the community to get more trees in the area.
In the town.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Little, Administration and Finance Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next meeting will be, of the Administration Finance Committee, will be May the 16th, right here at Village Hall at 4:30 in the afternoon, and everyone's invited to attend. So everyone knows the U.S. Luge is coming back to Westmont. The USA Luge Team Midwest Tryouts are coming back to Westmont on May 18th and 19th. Details are on the village website, and it will be on Cass Avenue, so it's going to be an exciting day. Race to the Flag will be happening on May the 19th. That's Sunday at Ty Warner Park. Sign up at racetotheflag.org. And I'm here to remind everybody that cruising nights are only 5 weeks away. We're planning our biggest and our best year ever. Information is on the website for Westmont Special Events, westmontevents.com. And then the Taste of Westmont is only 10 weeks away. This year, everything starts on Thursday night, including the main stage, the main beer tent, and food vendors. Details are on Westmont Special Events website, westmontevents.com. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, it's come real fast. It's getting here. Trustee Nero, who is absent, Public Works Committee, his next meeting is June 27th at 4:30 right here. Tree seedling giveaway, 280 tree seedlings were given away. This event was well received by the community. And a construction updates. Construction is underway for the Warwick Water Main Alley 12 North and will begin shortly for Alley 5 South. Check out the village website for additional information. And then Trustee Johanna Guzzo is also absent. The next meeting for the Fire Public Safety is on June 13th at 4:30. And we got Trustee Simonovich for the Police Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Police Public Safety Committee meeting will be on July 11th at 4:30 p.m. The Police Department held its Drug Take-Back Day. They collected 409 pounds of unwanted prescription drugs, so that's a huge success. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Moving on to agenda, items to be removed from the consent agenda. I have one item. I'd like the proclamation for the Taiwanese American Heritage Week to be viewed separately. Does anybody else have? If not, I'd ask Manager May to please read the consent agenda.
Consent agenda this evening starts with the village board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the village board meeting held April 18th, 2024. Next is finance ordinance number 1, and I didn't bring the sheet.
Oops.
Who knows the amount of finance ordinance number 1?
Ventures.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I didn't notice it, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I mean, it's number 1, we just started a new fiscal year.
Yeah.
And yes,
You
May
need
1st.
finance ordinance number 1?
Yes. Just the dollar amount.
I can.
You can just read it.
The amount of $1,260,150.36.
Okay, thank you. There are no purchase orders this evening, so that's the entire amount. We have 2 proclamations remaining on the consent agenda. First one is proclamation for Police Week. Board to consider a proclamation to declare May 12th through May 18th as Police Week in the Village of Westmont to honor our police department. And lastly, for the consent agenda is a proclamation for Public Service Week. Board to consider a proclamation to declare May 5th through 11th, 2024 as Public Service Recognition Week in the Village of Westmont. That's it, Mayor.
Do I have a motion to approve as read?
Motion to approve is read. Little?
Second, Barker.
Motion been made and second to approve. Any comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes?
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. Now we'll go to the one that was pulled off, the proclamation for Taiwanese American Heritage Week, and a board to consider a proclamation declaring May 12th to the 19th as Taiwanese American Heritage Week in the Village of Westmont. I'd ask Manager May to please read that proclamation.
Yes, thank you. Taiwanese American Heritage Week. Whereas America has been continually renewed and enriched by the many different people who choose to come here and become our fellow citizens, and whereas each brought part of their own heritage, which over time became part of our common heritage, and whereas generations of Asian Americans have helped make America what it is today, and whereas there are more than 500,000 Taiwanese Americans in the United States, with a significant Taiwanese American population in the Village of Westmont. And whereas Taiwanese Americans have made enormous contributions to the diversity and prosperity of American society, consistently contributing to the promotion of democracy and security of their homeland. And whereas Taiwanese Americans have succeeded as successful and notable artists, Nobel laureate scientists, researchers, scholars, professors, human rights activists, and business leaders. And whereas Taiwanese Americans are proud of their roots and their vital role in the growth of our nation, and whereas this week recognizes the long-standing friendship between the United States and Taiwan, and whereas during this special week, Taiwanese Americans are able to embrace America's diversity and celebrate the spirit of community that binds us together as one nation. Therefore, I, Ronald J. Gunter, Mayor of the Village of Westmont, does hereby proclaim May 12th through 19th, 2024 as Taiwanese American Heritage Month in the Village of Westmont.
Do I have motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Little?
Second, Barker.
Motion been made and second to approve. Any comments? I do have representatives here. I'll call them up after we vote. Roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes?
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes. And Larry Forsberg's going to come up and introduce our guests. And of course, we do have our successful Sister City program, so
We have a very successful sister city program with Hsinchu County in Taiwan. And we've also been the proud home for the Taiwanese Cultural Center since the late 1980s. So our connection to Taiwan runs very deep and very long. We're honored to have with us tonight Mr. Clark Chen. He's the president of the Illinois chapter of the Formosan Association for Public Affairs, and he's here tonight to join us to receive the proclamation. Please give him a warm welcome.
appreciate it.
And we'll let you talk.
Thank you very much for your
I'll let you have a chance. There you go.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Is that working? Okay. So my name is Clark Chen, and I'm foremost in the Association of Public Affairs Illinois chapter president. And definitely want to appreciate the long support from the village of Westmont to Taiwanese community in the area, and especially we have our Taiwan Culture Center here. And then, yeah, definitely we're very happy about the proclamation today for Taiwanese American Heritage Week. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for all the support you provide us. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to new business A, amendment to agreement with Metro Paramedic Services. Board to consider ordinance approving a second amendment to the public-private partnership agreement for EMS firefighting staffing with Metro Paramedic Services Incorporated. And I think we've got Deputy Chief Fitzgerald to give some additional information, or should I just say Fitz? Fritz. Fitz.
Very well, Mayor. That is all worse.
All right.
So this was a second amendment to the contract. It was a 5% increase in the contract, and it was also a 5% increase for the firefighter paramedic salaries.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion, approve.
Second, Little?
Motion made, second. Comments? Is this kind of normal percentage that usually go up?
That was the first time I think they went up the 5% from the emails and the contract that I was reading. I'm not sure what they did in the previous amendment.
Okay.
The contract allows them to increase it no more than 5% or decrease it by no more than 5% in any given year. And every year, the village and Metro have to negotiate what that increase is going to be and then approve it through an amendment to the agreement. And it's a 5-year agreement, and this is year 3, I believe.
Yes, and then that 5% increase is, the salaries is included in that 5% to the contract. It's not 10%.
And I think we discussed making sure we stay current with salaries for all of our employees, including our EMS. So
We're pretty competitive. We're at least the second highest in DuPage County for contract firefighter paramedics.
Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich? Sorry.
Motion passes. We'll go on to new business B, exercise of option year 1 downtown annual flower watering program. Board to consider an ordinance authorizing the village to exercise the first option year of the contract with Ken's Landscaping and Supply Incorporated for the downtown annual flower watering program. Director Reese.
Last year, we outsourced the downtown watering to contractors just due to operational efficiencies. The person driving the water truck has to have a CDL. They have to start early in the morning. We're down people while this watering is going on. So we put this task out to bid. Ken's was the low bidder, and the original contract included an option year that we could exercise. So this is the first option year of that contract with the same terms as last year and not to exceed cost of $160,000.
A motion to approve?
To approve, Barker.
Second.
Motion been made, second. Additional comment. Trustee Barker.
Could you tell us, there's an increase over last year, is that consistent with 3%, 5%, or whatever it is?
There's been no increase.
No increase.
In the cost, yeah, same terms. So,
And that includes fertilizing?
yep, we provide the fertilizer.
Provide that and the water.
And the water.
Their equipment and their people.
So that we can make sure it's the right type of fertilizer mix that we want on the plants.
We're also trying to reduce the watering.
Yes.
Other methods, right?
Part of the budget proposal tonight includes the purchase of earth planter pots that only need to be watered every other day, so we could reduce our effort in that category.
Keep them looking the way they have, and we'll be everybody's extremely happy. If no other questions, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich?
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to new business C, approval of change order number 1, Burlington Avenue realignment. Board to consider ordinance approving change order number 1 to the Burlington Avenue realignment project, Phase 2 engineering with Thomas Engineering Group, LLC, for an amount not to exceed $64,500. Director Reese.
So this project goes back quite a few years. There was a original plan that was intertwined with a development proposal for that property that's since been discontinued. So now we're trying to realign the roadway, and the next item is to get that ComEd primary relocated to get this property cleared for hopefully something in the future. This redesign is part of that. Now there's not a building footprint anymore. We had to make some changes to the design to keep the parking lot in service until such time as a development proposal would occur there. So this is to complete all that engineering with the roadway realignment, some changes to utilities, dark sky requirements for the street lighting, and additional coordination with ComEd.
I need a motion to approve that change order.
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Barker.
Motion been made and second to approve. Comments. Trustee Barker.
Could you just go over the cost of the increase from when we were going to do it originally versus where we are today, so people get an understanding? Costs a lot of money, but the inflation of
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the roadway realignment or the ComEd piece?
the ComEd relocation.
Okay, yeah, so the original, I don't have a lot of as much background on this as perhaps Manager May might
cover it.
have. If you wanted to cover it.
Yeah, I'll do that. So just a comment, and even the item that we're on now kind of centers around the ComEd realignment. So the different utilities that had to be adjusted and fine tuning the engineering all has to do with accommodating that. So Commonwealth Edison, and for anyone that wants to follow along on a map, has a very high voltage distribution line underneath the alley that comes south from their distribution up on Traube, and not that far. What's the street? I forget. North of Naperville Road. So anyway, there's just a very large line that cuts through that parking lot, that cuts through down the alley, and if you visualize the alley going straight like it would have in 1921, that ComEd is underneath there and it crosses the railroad tracks there. So that bisects the part of the parking lot, and if, in order to develop it, ComEd has to be intercepted without interrupting service, brought around the perimeter of the developable site. So it's a public utility. There's actually overhead power there too, and then there's the needs for the development itself. And you know, I'm trying to think of how many years ago with the previous development, but that started out as a $1.2 million relocation project. During the plans and the design, it went from 1.2, and he said down to 800,000, which we were happy to hear, but yet we didn't move it, and then that development didn't continue, and that's where we were at, and now that there's new interest, and we went back and can't find anybody at ComEd that we were dealing with at the first place, and that's all redone. So I'm kind of describing the next item too, but it's currently at, they just have high-level estimates. You know, once you give us the direction to go, they'll fine-tune the engineering. Equipment costs go up and down. You remember with the Bell Tire, they couldn't get a transformer for like ever. And so all these things are contingent. So the number is $2 million now for design and construction for the utility. So 1.2 to 0.8 to 2.
Thank you.
That's the ComEd piece. This item is the approving the change order for our engineering design changes for the roadway pavement and the.
Because of ComEd.
Yeah,
Various,
primarily.
It goes hand in hand with it.
ComEd was one of the reasons. Another reason was that now there's not a developer, there's not a footprint, we want to keep the parking lot, we want to have the dark sky lighting, there's some additional utility coordination.
Comcast got a jump on it, so they've been doing a lot of work in that building, and
And so
complex.
If I could add to that, so the consolidation of the property to the purchase of Harrelson's and all of that, I don't remember the purchase price, but it might be, there's a significant investment here on that
Yes.
corner to make it usable.
When we had the previous developer interests, we own property, the parking lot, we own right-of-way. There were 2 commercial properties, and there were 3 single-family homes. 5, 6, 7 partners in this. That is probably one of the reasons that changed. So we've acquired the commercial properties and, raised the structures. We acquired one of the residential properties and did that, and now there's only 2 partners, the Village of Westmont and whatever developer we recruit.
Which is ideal.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
And I do have to say, staff had looked at a lot of options for ComEd, and the only really one was what we're looking at now.
Yeah, we're a really, really smaller footprint for a development, and that's, from the earlier meeting, the corner of Main Street and Main Street, so it's an important
Yes.
location.
Any other roll call, please?
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Motion passes, and we'll go to the one we kind of talked about now, the ComEd relocation proposal. Board to consider ordinance approving a proposal from Commonwealth Edison for the relocation of overhead facilities along East Burlington Avenue. And Director Reese?
Overhead and underground.
Sorry.
And underground.
Yep. We sort of discussed this a little bit before. So this is a proposal from ComEd to redesign that underground high-voltage primary, as well as relocate some above-ground facilities that are on poles that are in the way of all of this. They require an upfront payment to do any of the engineering, and then they won't proceed until they have like that deposit, so to speak, in hand, and that's what they draw on when they're doing the design. So, the previous proposal is trying to help them a little bit, keep it cheaper by doing some of this, making sure there's not unknowns for them that they're designing around.
And they'll spend that deposit on engineering, and then
Yep.
we'll have a better estimate when they finish the
Yep.
engineering, so there's always
Yep. So
another opportunity there.
we're pushing them pretty hard to tighten up their numbers, so hopefully they will be able to do that.
Do I have a motion to
I have a
approve?
question first.
Yes.
This is very interesting. I work in the engineering department for Illinois Bell, and this thing is out of the public relations department, and it says relocate, so forth. This is approximately $2 million. This is a non-binding, high-level estimate. This is without an engineering design. So how could the public relations department, or a large corporation, say what it's going to cost? Then it says later on, it'll be a final engineering design. And also, any disruption in the work area. I never heard of a corporation coming up with a loose operation like this. So it's either or. So this thing could cost us $2.5 million. I think it was poorly put together by ComEd, to tell you that. Public Relations Department overseeing, it wasn't even engineered yet.
Yeah, I think
I'm not saying blame you, but just
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
Doesn't seem right, but
it comes out of that there because of the, public, because their external affairs people deal with all the public agencies, and so that's why it comes from them, but,
It's governmental affairs that's doing that. That's why they call it a high-level instrument. They're going to start with the initial deposit, do the final engineering, and then we'll have a better number at that time. So
You can agree not to proceed with the work.
at that time. So we are committing $200,000 to continue with the design work.
But it is poorly worded.
And they admit it, and
you caught it, Frank.
they're also pouting a little bit about their petition for rates and...
Got to keep in mind, though, it's their game, right? It's
they're a
their process.
monopoly.
It's their
There's no-
process.
Yeah,
Take
there's
it
no
or
way
leave it.
around them,
Right.
we can't do anything to avoid
Yeah.
them in
Part of the
this case,
competition,
so-
right?
Yep, there's no competition. It's kind of, if we want to get them out of the way, this is what it's going to cost,
That's right.
unfortunately.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Barker.
Motion made and second to approve. Any additional comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Abstain.
Trustee Little.
Yes?
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
I got to vote yes. Call me.
That affects our
Mayor
vote, right,
Yes.
John?
And that passes because an abstention vote counts toward, with the majority of the votes cast, so that will go down on the record as a 4-0 vote of the trustees, but I'm glad you voted just
Yeah.
as a backstop.
Yep. Motion passes.
Yes, it does.
That does. And we'll move on to, the last item, new business E, fiscal year 2024-25 budgets. Board to consider a resolution adopting the budgets for fiscal years ending December 31st, 2024 and December 31st, 2025. And Assistant Village Manager Parker.
So this is something that the board discussed in a lot of detail last Thursday. It's on the village's YouTube channel, so anybody who wants to watch 2.5 hours discussion of the budget can see all the details of the discussion that happened. There was a lot of good discussion, a lot of good questions asked and answered, and a lot of good input, I think, from everybody as part of that. I will say this has been a lot of work from the departments, from the trustees, had an extra long meeting, from staff, from everybody doing a lot of work to put this together because, as the mayor mentioned, we're approving 2 fiscal years right now instead of just the single fiscal year because we are changing our fiscal year. It currently runs May through April. We're changing it to run January through December. So with that, we're adopting one budget for one fiscal year of a stub year that just runs from May through December, and then for the next full year budget. So just for the record, I will note that the total expenses in the 8-month budget are $57,609,305, and the total expenses in the 12-month budget are $84,421.
84 million.
Sorry, $84,421,664. Thank you, Mayor.
And this is kind of the same as if it was a 12-month. We're not, if you average it out, it's about the same we've been averaging over the old fiscal year.
Yes, it's very similar to just tracking on target.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second?
Motion been made and second. Additional comments? Yes, sir.
So I would ask Mr. Parker, I didn't see any, additional correspondence from since last Thursday. I didn't have any time to follow up on it, but the conversation that we had, did that alter or change the budget, and in what way?
Yes, so the one change that the board talked about making was increasing the amount of money in the dark sky program from 5,000 to 10,000. So that change.
For the commercial?
Yes, to be able to include additional money for the commercial grants for that. So that's the only change from the numbers that were presented at the last meeting.
And the additional shift for the fire department was in the budget?
Yes, it was always in the budget.
So it's there. Any additional comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to miscellaneous. The one item I have is, we talked about May 30th, there's no committee meeting. I think we're going to hold a community development meeting. Special meeting, and it'll be centered around zoning, the new zoning proposal. Does anybody else have any miscellaneous? If not, then we do not have an executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Little?
Adjourn. Okay, second, Bree. And roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Brady.
Yes.
Trustee Simonovich.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Okay, and thank everyone for coming. This meeting is adjourned.